Well, hello there. My name is Brian Needleman, and I'm going to get to why I'm popping on here in a second, but I'm going to take a slightly different route. Somebody asked me a question recently. They said, when you do a video, why is it that you come on and you say, hello, my name is Brian Needleman? It's not just for entertainment's sake. It's that not everybody knows my name. It's not like Cheaters, where everybody knows your name. Depending on where I post the videos or my whatever, nobody knows who I am, or some people know me, some people may not know me. But there's also another reason why I introduce myself, and that is because when I'm sharing something that's coming out of my heart, coming out of my brain, coming out of my soul, out of my pores, wherever it's coming out of, I'm owning it. I'm owning my truth. I'm owning exactly who I am. So when I say my name is Brian Needleman, I'm also introducing my truth to myself as well as to other people. Now, that might not be the direct answer that you were looking for, but I hope it gives you a little food for thought, so to speak. Now, I want to introduce where I'm going with a quote that my father used to say a lot on the radio, and it goes something like, the brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Now, my father didn't invent that quote. The person who said that was Carl Jung, who was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who ran in the circles with Sigmund Freud before branching out on his own. Now, what does that mean, the brighter the light, the darker the shadow? Well, it can mean a lot of things. It doesn't just mean that there's a dark side, like a bad place in yourself, but it often refers to a process that whenever we go through periods of growth and we're making changes and we're doing well, what happens sometimes is that we sabotage ourselves. We have setbacks, because what comes up is when we grow, sometimes what also comes up into the light is some of the darkness, which is pain, vulnerability, insecurities. And so we get afraid. We may not be completely conscious of it, but this is a lot of times why we sabotage ourselves. For me, what came up a few days ago was some shame and some anger that was causing me to sabotage. And it's probably been things that I've sabotaged for my growth for a long period of time. I've been in a group called, with Amy Boswinkle, who's wonderful, by the way. Look her up on my Facebook page, and she does a lot of online courses and whatnot. It's called Happy, Fit, and Free. And what I've been doing is I've been in a group with other people, and we're working on changing our lives from the inside out, changing the way I'm eating, changing the way that I'm exercising, changing the way that I'm valuing life, and being the best version of myself, or working toward being, excuse my itch, the best version of myself. So all that was going very, very well, and then I had a bad night a couple of nights ago. Now, why did I sabotage? Well, something came up for me. Years ago, I was in a relationship with a woman, and there was some issue over loaning some money over stuff. And I had loaned money, and the long and short of it was basically that she didn't pay me back all the money that was owed, and basically felt entitled to not have to pay it back, blowing off the debt. And now for a while, I tried forgiving. I tried seeing, even long after we've broken up, I tried seeing her in the bigger picture, that she's a much bigger person than her debt and all that stuff. And it reminded me of something my father used to always talk about, in that people are always package deals. So You got to accommodate the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak. But I learned also that in life that my father's feedback had its limitations, and I didn't agree with it completely, that not everything in the package is appropriate, especially when there are red flags. It's a difference between accommodating somebody's idiosyncrasies and their quirks and maybe some issues that they have. But then there's also making room for somebody that has red flags, which could be anywhere from being abusive, they could be egregious, they could be toxic, whatever that is. It's something that's in their package that are not good for you. And why I sabotaged was that I was angry that I ignored the red flags. I was in love. And the shame that came up around it is that I knew better. And this was, a lot of this anger and this rage came up. Now, how I wound up handling it was I wound up confronting her and basically re-brought up the debt and said that it wasn't about the money, it was the way that you handled it. It was the way that you didn't take responsibility for it and work something out with me. And a friend of mine, Barbara Tubersui, said that, beautifully stated that trying to get anything out of a narcissist is futile. But I learned something else too, that people will often say, well, why bother should I say something to somebody? Because they're not going to get it anyway. And the bottom line is that saying something is not about saying something because you're trying to be attached to the results. Ideally, what you would like is you express how you feel about being harmed by somebody, and then you get from them, I'm sorry, and here's a behavior change that compensates for it. But the reality is often that doesn't happen. So why do you say something? Because it's about honoring your integrity and your self-respect. So by me confronting her about it was honoring my integrity and my self-respect. And I did. And then I also let her know that I need to cut you loose because I don't have room in my life for anybody that feels that entitled to take advantage of somebody's good nature. And again, it's not about the money. If she would have made a statement about, can we work out a payment plan, that would have been fine. It was more of a statement about me having to deal with my shame and that I didn't see the signs. I was in denial about it. And I was angry at myself for being in denial about it, not seeing it. And then I learned another valuable forgiveness, another valuable insight, which is that it's not about forgiving her, but I had to forgive myself. Look, we've all got stuff in our past that we're not proud of. I may be a nice guy, but I'm not a saint. There ain't no halo hanging over my head. I've made mistakes. I didn't use the best judgment that I could have. And a big part of me being the best version of myself is having to forgive myself. And hopefully you can find some forgiveness for yourself. So that's all I really wanted to say. I got my glasses. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here on my thing. No, I think I got everything on there. I got everything on my little pad. So that's what I wanted to come on and talk about. And I hope that this had some value for you. And that's what it's all about. So I wanted to share what was going on with me. And I'm going to continue to do the best that I can. I've lost 14 pounds despite being on Prozac and Wellbutrin, which Prozac you gain weight. But I've lost 14 pounds. I'm swimming every day, I'm eating well, and I'm cutting out toxic people in my life, out of my orbit. And I'm only having people in my life that accept Brian for who he is. And that's what's important. All right. So listen, thank you for hanging out with me. Of course, it's a long video, but hopefully that there was something juicy in here that you could resonate with. So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you guys very much. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.